Welcome to the Nomadic Spaces podcast, where we talk all things interior design, tiny houses, and happy homes. Each week, we explore different interior design strategies, the unique challenges of small spaces, and delve into the incredible lifestyle of tiny homes. Whether you're a fellow tiny house dweller or simply have an interest in interior design, this show has something for you. I am your host, Sarah Bronstein, and I live in Asheville, North Carolina with my pup Albus in a vintage travel trailer I renovated into my tiny dream house. I'm a professional interior designer, and I run my own business called Suka Interior Design, and I'm also a licensed realtor with the Asheville Realty Group. Thank you so much for being here. If you like what you hear, please consider leaving a review, hitting some stars, subscribing, and or sharing this show. It's how little shows like this survive. Now, let's get into today's episode. Hi friends, welcome back to the Nomadic Spaces podcast. Today's episode is called Interior Design Tips for Small Spaces and Tiny Homes. This is going to be so relevant for any of y'all living in small houses or studios or apartments, and especially for anyone in an actual tiny house or an RV or travel trailer. You're going to want to check this one out. As you'll have already probably figured out, living in a tiny home is all about making the most of what you have, but that doesn't mean you have to sacrifice style or comfort. With some clever tips, you can transform your living area into a chic and cozy haven that really reflects your personal tastes. Interior design plays a crucial role in maximizing small spaces. The right design elements can make a room feel larger, more open, and more inviting. Whether you're dealing with a tiny apartment or a compact house, there are lots of ways to create a stylish and comfortable environment. So let's explore some of the interior design tips that will help you optimize your small space. Number 1, use light colors. Paint is a very powerful way to transform any space, especially small ones. Light colors can make a room feel larger and more open. When you use shades like whites, pastels, or neutrals, they act as mirrors for light, reflecting it rather than soaking it up. This reflection creates the illusion of brightness that can make any space feel more welcoming and vibrant. Moreover, light colors possess another interesting characteristic because visually they recede. This means when you look at them, they seem to move further away from you, creating a sense of depth. This sort of optical illusion makes the room appear larger than it actually is. It's almost as if the walls are stretching outwards, giving you more room to breathe and move around. So if you're in a small space and want to make it feel bigger, light colors are your best bet. They not only brighten up the room, but create that illusion of expansiveness. By choosing light colors, you're essentially tricking your eyes into seeing larger, brighter, more open spaces. It's a really simple yet effective way to maximize the space potential of any room, regardless of its actual size. Number 2, opt for multifunctional furniture. When space is at a premium, multifunctional furniture is a must. Since this type of furniture serves multiple purposes, it makes it a really smart and efficient choice for compact areas. Can consider a coffee table that offers storage as an example, or even a sofa bed. There's even the option of a table that can be expanded when additional surface area is needed. These versatile pieces are about more than furniture. They're also clever solutions to make the most out of every square foot. And multifunctional furniture doesn't just save space, it can also help reduce the clutter. With fewer items required to fill a room, there's less potential for mess and disorganization. Imagine having just a single piece of furniture that serves the purpose of 3 or 4 separate items or closets. The result is a cleaner, more organized space that feels larger and more open. Number 3, utilize the vertical space. Utilizing vertical space in a tiny house is smart for many reasons. First, it helps to maximize the available area, making the home feel larger and more spacious. It also provides additional storage options, which are often more limited in small homes. There are many creative ways to use the vertical space. One of my favorites is to install shelving or cabinets. This can be a great place to store things like books or dishes or other items, depending where it is. Another one is to use a loft bed, which you see a lot in tiny houses on wheels. It frees up a lot of floor space underneath for maybe like a desk or seating area. Another way to save cabinet storage is considering hanging pots and pans from the ceiling in the kitchen, or maybe even little hooks for coffee cups under cabinets. You could also consider wall-mounted fold-down tables or desks that can then be tucked away when they're not in use. These are all various strategies that can help make a tiny house or small space just feel bigger and more functional. Hi, friends. I hope you are enjoying this show. Listening to podcasts and reading blogs like this is a great way to gain knowledge. But to really make change, you need to take action. Luckily, taking action doesn't have to be overwhelming, timely, or expensive. My Desk Refresh Guide is a great resource you can download totally free from the link in the show notes. This guide will break down the redesign process into simple, actionable steps with tangible results to transform your space without spending a cent. Now let's get back to the episode. Number 4, use mirrors. Mirrors can create the illusion of a larger space. Consider placing a large mirror opposite a window to help reflect that natural light and make your room feel bigger and brighter. Decorating a tiny house with mirrors is a really smart idea for several reasons. First, mirrors can make any space seem larger. They reflect light and the room's interior, creating that illusion of depth and space. Second, mirrors add a touch of elegance and style. You can get them in various shapes, sizes, frames, and styles, so you can really use them to match any decorative theme. Third, mirrors are functional. They can be used for personal grooming or checking one's appearance before leaving the house. I really like to have a mirror somewhere in that entryway. And lastly, mirrors can also hide the imperfections on walls or cover up storage spaces. Number 5, choose the right lighting. Proper lighting plays a pivotal role in tiny houses for a variety of reasons. One of the main benefits is that it can make the space seem larger and just more welcoming. This optical illusion is achieved by strategically placing lights to brighten up dark corners and just kind of illuminate the entire area. The right kind of lighting can also set different moods or atmospheres in the different parts of the space, and this can also be adjusted according to the time of day or the activity that is happening within a given space. To achieve these goals, I always recommend a combination of ambient, task, and accent lighting. And just to cover that real quick, ambient lighting is usually the primary source of light. It provides general illumination that makes the space feel safe and comfortable. Task lighting is more focused, directing light where it's needed most. For example, over a kitchen counter for cooking or a desk lamp for reading or writing. And accent lighting is used to highlight specific areas or objects, which adds depth and interest to the space. It's like putting a spotlight on a piece of art or a unique architectural feature, maybe. By carefully planning and combining all these types of lighting, you can really maximize the functionality and aesthetic appeal in your tiny house. Number 6, keep it simple. When designing a tiny house, simplicity is key. This approach helps prevent the space from feeling overcrowded, which is a pretty common issue in smaller living areas. If there are too many items or furniture pieces that are too large, the area can quickly become just uncomfortable and feel really cramped. So it's really important to just be mindful of the size and number of items that you're bringing into a tiny house. A minimalist design approach can really enhance the feel of a tiny space. By choosing only essential items and furniture that fits well within it, you're creating an environment that feels open and uncluttered. And this doesn't mean you have to sacrifice on style or comfort. It just means you're carefully selecting items that have a purpose and fit well within the space. And really the benefits of a simple and minimalistic design extends beyond just aesthetics. It makes the tiny house more comfortable to live in, but it also helps give that illusion of more space. So keeping things simple, you can really help maximize your living space, and this approach allows you to fully enjoy your home without feeling overwhelmed by clutter or confined by a lack of space. Number 7 is add personal touches. Even though your space is small, it's still important to make it feel like home, like you. So personalizing the interior of a tiny house is important, and it's not just about making it look good, but really ensuring that it reflects the owner's personality and lifestyle. This can make living in a small space feel so much more comfortable and enjoyable. Maybe it looks like integrating materials from reclaimed wood or fabric from a family member or friend. If someone loves reading, maybe they're creating like a cozy reading nook in a corner with maybe some built-in shelving. If cooking is their passion, you might prioritize having a well-equipped kitchen over a larger living area. Like in my tiny house, for example, the front space is set up largely like a home office and living room combination because I spend so much of my time working on my designs and businesses from my desk. But someone retired or someone with kids in this space would probably want to allocate that space very differently. So it's just about what works best for you. And just keep that in mind, that the goal is about what is comfortable and functional for you. I know it's hard, but if possible, try not to get caught up in what is trendy or what someone else is doing. Really dig deep into what your special tastes and needs are. And with these tips, you can combine that to maximize your space that makes a home that is stylish and cozy and uniquely you. So as we wrap up today's episode, I just want to remind everyone that designing tiny houses and small spaces is challenging, but it doesn't have to be this like daunting task. With the right design solutions, the right approaches, and the right attitude, any space of any size can be transformed into a cozy, functional, and stylish home. I hope this episode was helpful, and until next week, take care and home happy. I hope you found today's episode helpful and inspiring. My goal with this show is to help others make changes that transform their space. But just absorbing content, even brilliant content like this, doesn't get results. Taking action does. If you are still listening, you might be ready to fully accomplish your design goals. My challenge to you is commit to taking one action right now before you don't. Taking action might look like booking a design project jumpstart. Or maybe it's signing up for the free desk refresh guide. Or maybe it's signing up for my mailing list. Or maybe it's scheduling a complimentary connection call to virtually meet and discuss your design goals in more detail. You can find more about all those fun things I just mentioned, as well as reach out to me directly through my website, which is sukkainteriordesign.com. That is SUKKHAINTERIORDESIGN.com. I love connecting, so please don't be a stranger. As always, thank you for tuning in and for being a part of this community. If you liked what you heard on this episode or show, please take a second to like, review, subscribe, and share this podcast with your friends and family. It is truly the easiest way to show support for me and this tiny niche podcast. Until next time, take care and home happy.